It's me. I think I like it in the dark. I gotta, um, like co-starring how they got like the daily, whatever. It said the best conversations are in the dark, and so lately I've just been in the dark, chilling. But excuse me, down. Excuse me. Close my door, please. Thank you. Okay. Aaron's cranky because he doesn't like bedtime, and he just found out that I hid the remote. So now he can't get up in the middle of the night and do that. All right. So one, I'm going to answer a question. Because when I opened up my IG this evening, literally just now, there were some questions about some dreams. You got some questions about some dreams? I got you. All right. And then after that, we're going to move into the lesson, which is rushed. It's not. It's not quality work, okay? This is probably the least quality work I will ever give you because there's too much stuff going on. Now that Aaron goes to school, I'm able to leave the house and do errands and stuff. I ain't got time for this shit. And the bus driver really sweet. He talks my ear off though, so I was trying to read my Bible. It just didn't work out. And no offense, he needs the conversation clearly. So, and it's not any harm to me. I'm just saying we talk a lot. That's all. um, I can't answer all of them. But I'm gonna tell you the general consensus of your dreams has a lot to do with restrictive situations and relationships, okay? To dream that you are breaking out of jail refers to your desire or need to escape from a restrictive situation or relationship. Could also mean that you are refusing to accept consequences of your actions. Um, to dream that you are shot or being shot at represents a form of self punishment that you may be subconsciously imposing on yourself. Um, you may have done something that you are ashamed of or not proud of. If you are shot and come back as a different person, then it indicates that you need to start fresh. Okay. To dream that you are attacked by zombies indicates that you are feeling overwhelmed by forces beyond your control. I think I've actually mentioned that particular one before too, because I saw zombie cats. So uh, you are under tremendous stress in your life. The dream represents your fears of being helpless and overpowered. To dream that you are going through a drive-through implies that your ambition and drive is getting in the way of your personal relationships. And also the fact that the it, the bus, okay, it's hidden unknown aspects, lacking sense of belonging. The fact that those things are the bus doesn't fit into the drive-through is what you said, right? So you are actually afraid that these hidden unknown aspects of yourself don't fit into your personal relationships more likely. You might be discovering certain things. It's all going back to your relationships really, and to see a psychopath in your dreams suggests that you're being deceived or manipulated. It can also mean that you're feeling detached. Personally, uh, outside looking in, okay, outside looking in, I'm gonna say that though there seems to be a lot of love within the family dynamic, you aren't all in. I'm sorry. Just just but that's because of what I've already expressed to you about how you got there. Also pay attention. Self-punishment, very common, very common uh like in these family dynamics. it's very common to start doing certain things because you think you did something wrong somewhere. It's you, because a lot of the times, um, because you're actually experiencing these covert traumas, you may experience some bad behavior somewhere down the line and in your life, and so you're like, this is a result of me, and not realizing that it's actually the parent, right? So there's some, you know, there you go. There's some answers for you. Um, you know, I'll be coming back and returning shots and things like that. But just to let you guys know, uh, you know, it's really all love. Sometimes I do get a little bit irritated. I think I got more irritated with the other lady because she just has so much fun, like saying little like throwing little shots when I'm leaving supportive comments on your shit, and you decided you want to throw some like shady shots, like I wouldn't, like I'm dumb or something, or wouldn't be able to pick up on how you're interacting with me and how contrasted it was to the other people. Like, that's why I called you dumb. You. But the other one, not, I got you. All right. So we're moving into the actual lesson for today. Um, you know, uh, so this is inspired by two readers. I'm gonna say your name. I'm gonna shout you out because this is no it's no disrespect to you. It's actually your comments are inspiring. One is, I'm sorry, I have to go to YouTube really quick to find you. I'm gonna use this phone. This phone actually has the app. I gotta figure out how to pay this shit because I need to upgrade and it won't let me because I have a billing issue. Let's see here. I recently subscribed to you. Uh, Cosmic Mother Medusa. Okay. 7717. I'm looking over here, and then the other was Mommy Wata. Okay. Uh, y'all said something, and it's very interesting, but very important. Cosmic Mother Medusa has said that she's trying to move away from saying like dark magic or like black magic. And Mommy Wata's comment was something about how uh, someone was doing work and it was not of God. So I was called to show you when it is of God, because it is still of God. And the sentiment, essentially, the sentiment is to follow, uh, trying to move away from dark magic, black magic, because those don't necessarily exist. It's the same thing for like when I'm talking about demonology, and when you uh it the nature of the demon is everything about the conjurer, right? So in the same way is we can both do binding spells, but if one's doing it for light, it's light, and if one's doing it for dark, it's dark. But it's all it's kind of this. It doesn't matter. It's biblical. So we pull the Bible. We pull the Bible up. It's just that simple. All right. Um, I'm only gonna use a few. Like I said, I was trying to get a lot more, but it's just not working out. But I have enough. And there's actually one that it still works. It still works. So shit. I'm lost. Did it not update or something? Okay, here it is. So this is just Bible verses, and this is to show, for people who believe that root work. So specifically, what this is doing is this is going to validate like Wiccan belief, voodoo belief, hoodoo belief, because there's root work or rituals or certain things that magic, right? So some people frown upon these things. They frown upon them because what we find is that a lot of people try to use them in like a what's the word? A negative connotation. Okay, you cannot. But I'm just not saying it right, but it's okay. So we're gonna show you like a couple instances in the Bible where root work is being done. Okay, so this one is the this one was the first one I chose to use, but it's the law of jealousy. Okay, it's kind of long, but I just want you to pay attention because one thing also, right? This is very important. Like I've heard Christians. There was this woman, uh, full circle, Cynthia G. When talking about the abortion, I gave her the suggestion for this verse. Now she brought this verse up, and the person that was comment for commentary was a Christian, and she denied that this would even be possible. So it, you cape for God, you cape for the Bible, and be like, I doubt that dirt would do anything. So why is it in the Bible? So it's kind of funny because I brought Cynthia G up earlier this week. Personally, I keep saying her name, but I do not agree with her rhetoric at all. I do watch her commentary because it can be very comical to watch, but I do not agree with her commentary at all. Her name was brought up this week because of this right here. There was a Christian, okay, who denied what was in the Bible, what the Lord said would happen. All right, very important. Okay, so this is root work. Now, funny enough, I'm in the NIV, and she did say that the NIV was the only version that says miscarry. Um, but we're gonna look at I'm gonna read it in King James, even though most of the time I don't read King James version anymore. Um, but we're gonna read it in the King James version because, uh, just anyway. Okay. If a man finds himself jealous, then he is to take his wife to the priest. He must also take an offering of a tenth of an ephah of barley flour on her behalf. Uh, he must not pour olive oil on it or put incense on it, okay, because it is a grain offering for jealousy, a reminder offering to draw attention to wrongdoing. Okay, this is essentially an intention spell. Okay, so the priest shall bring her and have her stand before the Lord. Then he shall take some holy water in a clay jar and put some dust from the tabernacle floor into the water. After the priest has had the woman stand before the Lord, he shall loosen her hair and place in her hands the reminder offering and grain offering for jealousy, while he himself holds the bitter water that brings a curse. Okay? Then the priest shall put the woman under the oath and say to her, if no other man has had sexual relations with you, and you have not gone astray and become impure while married to your husband, may this bitter water that brings a curse not harm you. All right? But if you have gone astray while married to your husband, and you have made yourself impure by having sexual relations with a man other than your husband, here the priest is to put the woman under this curse. May the Lord cause you to become a curse among your people when he makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell. Why is that? That's the King James version. Oh, I guess she was wrong then, huh? May this water that brings a curse into your body so that your abdomen swells and your womb miscarries. This is the King James version. Doesn't sound like it though. Oh, you know what? This is still the NIV. I didn't hit go. But either way, let's see what it says. Let me hit. Listen, doth make your thigh to rot and thy belly to swell, is what it says in the King James Version. Now, the woman refuted that that would actually happen because it's dirt. It's dirt. I highly doubt that that would be possible. But that's what the Lord said. That's the word of the Lord before the Lord of the house. um, Priest in the temple, you would bring these offerings to priest in the temple, high priestess, high priest, the magician. This is literally what this is. This stuff is not worldly. What these people are doing in the spiritual community is not worldly. That is literally what the priest is there for, to perform works, root works. All right, so that is the very first one I chose to read. I brought it up before. It's I brought it up in the where is your God? Okay, so we're gonna move on to First Kings. They started me out actually in Kings. I knew numbers right off the top of my head, but for some reason the works of Elijah and Elisha was significant. I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to hear that. Okay. Before I move on to that, because I'm going to be doing reading material here, but just also a reminder that animal sacrifice was a thing. Okay. Um, these things are approved by you when you read the book, but when people continue in that when people continue in that tradition, which is what we're seeing is of God, for some reason you see it as worldly, or my words are escaping me, but it's like I know y'all don't like being in my business, but it's my cycle. So when you're on your cycle and shit like that, it actually does have an effect on your language skills. Okay, so my brain is like everywhere. Okay, so moving on here, we're moving on to Kings 18. Um, but for some reason, Bible Gateway has been getting on my nerves. Okay, they have too many ads, and I understand you want to every time I fucking hit OK, it fucking, excuse me. Every time I hit OK, it opens up apartments.com. But what's really funny about that? I just looked over at 1717. Okay. New beginnings in life. New start in life. And then I keep hitting, the button, and it keeps giving me new apartment. So, anyways. By the way, one thing I happen to notice a lot is that Elijah controlled the rain. Anyway, there was something in I should have wrote it down. I just wrote the verses. Yeah, they're like confirmation. You should have wrote down what it was that you saw there. There was something I saw there, but I can't remember. Um, oh, exactly what I was talking about. This animal sacrifice shit. Okay. So, in Kings, First Kings, chapter 18, they're doing a competition, and what's really funny is that they do a competition all the time. The competition is also done when Moses and Pharaoh are going at it. There's a competition. What can you gonna do? What can I gonna do? Like, the thing is that who they consider to be their god is a demon. It's not really even. And again, it's about the conjurer, right? So honestly, in the grand scheme of things, they really could have used, because it's always Baal. It's almost always Baal. For some reason, y'all motherfuckers just love Beelzebub. Okay. Um, if they had good intentions, they could still probably harness the energy of Baal. I'm not trying to be like a creep or anything. It's, look, I just said 2020. Now, what did I say about 2020? Unleash your inner beast, okay? So, it's like they really could have, as long as they were in within a positive vibration, but that's not what their intentions were ever were. It's not really about who they're calling on, but there is, someone above Baal. So, um, and that's the Lord. That is God, the Most High God. Okay, so they were sacrificing bulls. They were doing all they could get to get this bull or to call fire. Whatever. And he, told him like, yeah, go ahead, call him. And he called onto God, and there was fire. Okay. But the most important part is the fact that these are sacrifices. They're doing sacrifices. So, um, essentially, what he did here was a beef tongue. It shut them up. They had no choice but to stop assaulting him. That's why I pulled that one up. And let's see. I'm pretty sure I wrote something about 19. Yeah. No. Nope. We move on to Second Kings. Okay. There was much more that went on, but I was trying to find things that specifically align with the voodoo hoodoo belief system. Okay, so beef tongue uh, was done in First Kings essentially. It doesn't specifically say that they used a beef tongue. It's just the fact that he used beef. He burned it, but back then you really couldn't freeze it. Nowadays we freeze it. But he burned it, and this competition was essentially to see one whose God was more powerful, and also to stop a war between them. Okay, so then let's see here. Second Kings 2. How can I help you? Okay, I understand that you want a hug, but I'm kind of in the middle of a video right now. When I'm done, I'll come help you. Okay. All right, thank you. Next time, knock. Thank you. All right. Second Kings 19 through 25. The salt. So they were having problems with the water. And he used the salt to purify the water. He asked them to bring salt. So let's see here. The men of the city said unto Elisha, behold, I pray thee, the situation of this city is pleasant, as my Lord seeth, but the water is not, and the ground is barren. And he said, bring me a new cruse, and put salt therein. And they brought it to him. And he went forth unto the spring of the waters, and cast the salt in there, and said, thus saith the Lord, I have healed these waters. There shall not be from thence any more death or barren land. Okay, so the waters were healed unto this day, according to the saying of Elisha, which he spake. Okay, I'm bringing up the salt because uh, he used, we use, okay, not he, but oftentimes salt is used to purify an area, okay? And that's going across Wiccan, hoodoo, voodoo. They use salt. It depends on the salt. You know, Himalayan salt, black salt. Doesn't matter the salt, but we still use salt to purify an area. Okay? So, that is another one there. I have a verse that doesn't exist here. So it's got to be, it's probably chapter 3. That's as far as I was able to get. Now I was in the middle of writing one down when we started talking. So let me see here. Let me see if this exists. Oh, I know exactly what it's about, but I don't think it's here. One of them was one of them was being assaulted. He was being verbally abused, and he called a curse upon them that had bears come and maul them. Okay, but that's not. I don't remember which. I don't know where that was. I think it might have been First Kings, but I could be wrong because I don't know. I know the Bible, but like when it comes to verses or where is that, like I'm not that great at it. Um, I've mentioned that before. I said that's something that y'all, some of y'all admire that about you, but even then, it's no biggie. I know how to use the Bible. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. All right. So the very last one that I'm going to talk about, which doesn't actually really. Oh, also the number 7 is very, very significant in Elijah and Elisha's story. Anytime anything happens, like where they want to do a ritual of some sort, it's always 7, right? So like he brought someone back to life. The person sneezed 7 times, right? He cleared someone of being a leper. Okay, you told that person bathe 7 times. Okay, these numbers, angel numbers, that's essentially an angel number. You know what I'm saying? To them. There was one. I don't know. I'm lost my place. Command 6. So they were cutting down a tree. Now this one I actually still do in life. I do it. They were cutting down a tree. They lost an axe head, and we kind of freaked out. Like, oh my god, man, this is borrowed, bro. Like, I need that back. And he threw a stick into the water. It made the iron float. This is an act like an act of faith, right? But I actually do it, and it actually works. When I lose something, which nowadays is very rare, but back in the day, I used to lose stuff. And in fact, I have sticks in the house for this specific reason. Aaron collects sticks, and I let him keep them in the house instead of on the porch. So if I lose something, I can do it. But my house now, it's very rare, right? I want you guys to try this out. Okay, this is a form of root work, right? When you lose something, throw a stick. Like, go outside, pick yourself a stick. If you looked and you can't find it, the last place that you saw it, throw the stick. Okay? Now, here's the thing. That thing is not necessarily going to show up at the last place you saw it. Now, it could, because that's how it worked out in the Bible, but in my experience, It'll be the most random fucking shit ever, okay? I lost my wallet. I looked fucking everywhere for my fucking wallet, okay? I looked everywhere. Um, I threw the stick in the last place I saw it. I'm driving, and I just open up my thing, and there it is. You know what I'm saying? And I had that happen often. Try it out. It's real. Because magic is all there is. Magic is all there is, and they do it all the time in the Bible. It is of God when you are of God. When your plans align with the plans of God, it is of God. When it does not, it is not. Literally, you show them doing these competitions and doing the exact same thing. But when it is not the will of God, that's the only time when it's not of God. Root work, witchcraft, these things are of God. It's your intentions that are not. If somebody has some money and you think you're supposed to have that money and you do some root work, it's not of God. Alright? But if God, oh, I know, damn. There was one that I really wanted to read you, and it's almost like I got it as soon as, excuse me. I got it as soon as, here it is. It's Jeremiah 13. I got it as soon as I dropped that video about the sour jars, okay? The Lord said to me, go and get thee a linen girdle and put it upon thy loins and do not put it in any water. Alright? So I got a girdle according to the word of the Lord, and I put it on my loins. And the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, take the girdle that thou hast got, which is upon thy loins, and rise, go to Euphrates, and hide it there in a hole in a rock. Okay? So I went, and I hid it by Euphrates, as the Lord commanded me. And it came to pass after many days that the Lord said unto me, hey, go to Euphrates and get that girdle that I told you to hide. Okay? Then I went to Euphrates, and I digged and took the girdle from the place where I had hid it. And behold, the girdle was marred. It was profitable for nothing. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, thus saith the Lord, after this manner will I mar the pride of Judah and the great pride of Jerusalem, the evil people which refuse to hear my words, which walk in the imagination of their heart, and walk after other gods to serve them and to worship them, shall even be as this girdle, which is good for nothing. You know what's really funny to me is when God is offended, he really does talk mad shit. Y'all ain't shit. That's what he said. For as the girdle cleaveth to the loins of a man, so have I caused them to cleave unto me, the whole house of Israel and the whole house of Judah, that they may be unto me for a people and for a name and for a praise and for a glory, but they would not hear me. Okay. What he just had him do was like a sour jar, but it was a sour girdle. That's why he had it on his loins. Said it's shit on this loin, on this girdle. Shit on this belt. Okay. Root work. It was root work. That is an example of root work. Jeremiah was led to do root work. Okay. People can be led, but they have to be a high priest. They have to be a prophet. They have to be real. You know what I'm saying? They have to be ordained by God. They have to be chosen. And for some of you, you seem to think that that means that you would be perfect or have this like flawless standard of morality or something. But I guess y'all just don't be paying attention to the Bible. God uses who the fuck he wants to use. He uses the one that loves God with all their heart. He doesn't really care about perfection. He just cares about how much you're trying, and not harming others. You know, like I said, like that example where it's like, I'm gonna teach them a lesson. While I was gossiping, I caught them in a lie. Yeah, you're the hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything that God stands for. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, this isn't like this is definitely not anything against what Mommy Watson said, um, or anything that uh, Cosmic Medusa, Mother Medusa, maybe. I'm sorry. I just started subscribing to you, and so I apologize if I got your name wrong. This is nothing against you. It's just to let people know, because some of you may actually hear those readings or something and look at someone who's doing things like this under the direct instruction of God and say it's not of God. So now you need to know when it is, you know, and that it is, right? So if someone decides that they want to use voodoo, it's still of God. See, what I learned, and I think where I'm going here, the reason that a lot of people think that it's impossible to um, have have an interest in all of these different belief systems, but what I found here is that God, the one true God, is in all of these systems. It just looks different, essentially. So when you sit here and you try to condemn someone, a high priestess of voodoo, essentially you're cursing God. You don't believe God. You know, I was saying that I was trying to tell her, you know, the chakras are no different than the tree. Jesus talks about the tree. Okay, believe it or not, I didn't really 100% know that when I made my own video, but you know, it's so ingrained in who I am that I'm not surprised when I saw it. And they also call Jeremiah the tree, right? The tree comes up a lot. The tree is no different than the chakras of the Eastern belief systems, okay? God is in every single one of these things. We have to stop condemning people for doing something different than what you were raised in. If someone feels that they have been led to do something, and they can tell you that they did it for the greater good of humanity, not for any selfish gain or anything like that, that person is moving and doing in a work of God. Just has a different name. Okay? Just has a different name. It's of God. These things can be of God. Every time every time a prophet comes up, it's always the same fucking it's always Baal. Everybody's worshiping Baal, okay? Or Baal, however you want to pronounce it. And they're always having the battle of the gods. And they're both doing the same rituals. And they find out who's really who's really got it going on. Okay? So again, that's like, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I hope this made sense. I hope it resonated. I hope you understand what I was trying to say to you. I don't remember where the story about the axe is. Okay, but if you want to test it out, glue something and throw a stick at the last place you saw it. Don't think about it. Don't look for it anymore. See where the shit shows up. Have a good night.